So I want you all to please pay attention to it. So today we are talking about basis of assessment or basis period, right? And as I love the fact that we are all finance people. For accountants, we talk about the fact that there is an accounting year or a financial period, right? Which is a period this which is a way for us to measure the financial viabilities or financial performance of a particular company. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So, for instance, if we say that, okay, financial an accounting year in 2019, it means that we're talking about everything that happened for the year 2019. The same thing for tax professionals as well. We must be able to put a metric or put a period to we must be able to put a time to what period we're actually looking at for a particular company. And that is what we talk about when we're talking about basis period. So I said that basis period is, a definite time in the book of a taxpayer in which the taxpayer's profit will be subjected to tax. All right. So that is the basis period. It is a particular time that we are looking at as tax professionals for which the profits of the taxpayer will be subjected to tax. So we are saying that, okay, you guys have run your business from this particular time to this particular time, right? Let's pick that time so that we can be able to accurately assess. Let's pick that time for this period and assess it to tax. So, and like we all know, for most of the companies, always 12 months. It's always 12 months. Now, basis of assessment on the other hand, right, is the yardstick with which the profit of the taxpayer is subjected to tax. So you can say that basis period is the when, while basis of assessment is the how the profit is assessed to tax. So how are we assessing it to tax? Do we want the company to run their business first? Then after they have completed running their business, they will now assess their profit to tax. Or we want to assess their business to tax while they are still in their period, where they are still in their financial period. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So how do we assess it to tax? That is what basis of assessment is talking about. All right. Please, can I confirm that we all got that? Is it clear? Chidima, is it clear? Do you understand that? Chidima, you can mute yourself.
Then, Mr.
Okay.
Luke, Mr. Ibe,
Okay, sir.
yes,
Yes, sir, I do.
you can hide the stop sharing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, sir. All right. Chidima, I got your response already. Thank you, sir. So, for our proper understanding, there are some terminologies that I have kept here, and I'm going to be explaining them in a bit. The first one is government year of assessment. Government year of assessment is basically the same thing we know as, or uh, let me ask, what have I not called? Abiodun, what do you understand by government year of assessment? Have you heard anything like that before? Have you heard anything like year of assessment before? Have you heard anything like who has heard it? Okay, let me just put it out. Like who has heard anything about year of assessment before, or or tax year or government year of assessment, anything like that? Is there anyone? I need someone to at least talk. Abiodun, Aramide, Chidima.
Okay, sorry.
Aramide, you can go
Yeah,
ahead.
let me understand why I feel about government year of assessment is the period of the period of the year which the government assess the tax for the taxpayers, whereby your tax are being assessed for the year, which shall be.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. That's actually apt. That's very apt. Olasini, what do you understand by the government's year of assessment or the year of assessment in short? Olaseni, can you unmute yourself? Okay. Who else can? I want one more person to give me a response concerning that. Emma, I need one more person, please. Sorry about that. I need one more person, please. Okay, I will just go ahead. So, like, who responded? Okay, Ola, what? No, it was okay. Aramide that responded. Like Aramide mentioned, when we say government year of assessment, we are simply saying year of assessment, right? And what does it mean? Just like it sounds, the year that the government is assessing the profit of, the taxpayer to tax. That is basically what year of assessment is. You know, the period or the year at which the government is assessing the profit of the taxpayer to tax. That is basically, or the operating result of the company to tax. That is basically what year of assessment is. That is it is a calendar year. So, for instance, we can say that some governments can say that, okay, we want the year that we are assessing the profits or the operation of the company to tax to be the same year that the company is, of course, going through the operation. And like we can all already think about it, that is always not as efficient. All right, it's always not as efficient. Or we can decide and say that as the government, we can say that we want the company to run through their operation first of all right, and then when they are done with their operation, we then assess them to tax. I hope that is clear enough. So that is what we mean by government year of assessment. It is just simply the year that the government have decided, to assess the profit of a particular taxpayer to tax. All right, that is what government year of assessment is. And for building up on that, I also put a actual year basis. So actual year basis is a situation where the governments have decided to assess the company's operation to tax in the same year. So here I said actual year basis is a basis period that must have started, right? Let me highlight this. That must have started and ended within the tax year. Do not forget, when we say year of assessment, we are simply saying, when we say year of assessment, it is the same thing as tax year. When we say government year of assessment, we are saying the same thing as tax year, we are saying the same thing as year of assessment. So what we are saying is that for a basis period to be actual year basis, it must have started and ended within the tax year. So if we are saying 2022 year of assessment, for instance, now it means that we are saying actual year basis. It means that we are saying that the start of the financial year of the company and the end of the financial year of the company is within 2022. Is it clear? So, and it must always coincide. Another thing that you must note is that it must always coincide with the government fiscal year. The government fiscal year is January 1 to December 31 of every year. As you all know, when the government wants to budget, except it's a supplementary budget, it's always for a 12-month period from January 1 to December 31. That's what we mean by a government fiscal year, right? So when it's actual year basis, it must coincide, it must start January 1 and end December 31st. I hope that is clear enough. But preceding year basis, on the other hand, is when we say that when we say preceding year basis, it means that the basis period must start and end before the beginning of the government tax year. All right. It's the basis period must start and end before the beginning of the tax year of the year of assessment. So, for instance, if we say 2022 year of assessment and we are under the preceding year basis, it means that the financial operation or what we are assessing to tax must have started and ended before that 2022. And one thing I now want you to take notes to pay attention to here, right, is the fact that when we are talking about the preceding year basis, I hope we are all taking notes. When we are talking about the preceding year basis, right, where did I even put the notes? When we are talking about the preceding year basis, we must always pay attention to the accounting year of the company, of the taxpayer. We will always make reference to the accounting year of the taxpayer. Please note that. So, for instance, if we are saying we are under preceding year basis, it means that there is so much relevance, or the basis period will be heavily reliant on when the when the accounting year end of the company is. So, for instance, I said before that we can assume that we are talking about a 2022 year of assessment, for instance. The basis period for this particular year of assessment will be dependent on the company has decided to when the company has decided to choose, pardon me, as its accounting year end. So, for instance, if the company has decided to choose um, 31st September of every month or 30th September of every month, it means that it would have run from the 1st of October of the previous year to the 30th of September of the year immediately preceding the year of assessment. And we are going to see example. I know this is a lot of theory. I'm going to like show us examples. I have illustrations. All right. What I'm just trying to explain is that when we are talking about because it's actually very, very important to the understanding. When we're talking about preceding year basis, it always pays attention to the accounting year end of the taxpayer. I'm going to take feedbacks now. Please, is what I've said before we go to into illustration? What I've said, is it clear?
So,
And
sir,
okay.
what do you mean by accounting of taxpayer? Is it the year the taxpayer start operation?
No, what I mean by the accounting year end is, for instance, the period at which the company decides to end or decide to like prepare its accounting, its financial statements. For most companies in Nigeria, it's always 31st of December. You
Okay.
get that is the point. Do you understand it now? That is when the company has decided to prepare its financial statements.
Sir.
Is it clear now?
Yes, yes, I guess. With illustration to be clear.
Oh, yeah, of course. I'm going to share illustrations now. Okay. Our illustrations will be majorly on preceding year basis because from Finance Act 2019, um, the basis of assessment is now on preceding year basis. It was when it was in the old law that we normally have like an actual year basis, and of course, we did not see ICANN testing. Of course, it would be really, really relevant for them to to be bringing the question up. But regardless, we are going to still see illustration about for the actual year basis as well. So for our illustration, I would have said someone should read, but I will just read this one, then maybe subsequent ones. For illustration, I said if the accounting year end is 31st December and we are under preceding year basis for year 2020, remember what I said? Remember what I said? I said that for preceding year basis, right, we must always pay attention to what accounting year end of the company. All right. So here they say that the accounting year end is what 31 December. All right, 31 December. And then we're now looking at a 2020 year of assessment. And remember we said that for preceding year basis, the basis period must begin and end before the year of assessment or before the tax year. So it looks like that the entire business period that we're going to be looking at must have started and ended before this 2020. That is the first clue. So it means that in whatever I'm going to be looking at here in the business period, I must not see anything 2020. I must not see anything 2020. So as it is now, for 2020 year of assessment and the accounting year end is 31st December, it means that the company would have started by 1st of January 2019 and must have ended 31 December 2019. Is it clear, please? Is that clear enough?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So, no, we are going to like demonstrate together another example. For actual year basis on the other end, we say that the business period will start and will end within the year of assessment. So it means what I want to see here, I must see the year of assessment because it means that the government is assessing the operation of the company to tax in the same year the company is carrying out its operation. All right. So in 2020, it means the company would have started the operation with this 31 December, started operation 1st January 2020 to 31 December 2020. And please scratch what I said. For actual year basis, the accounting year end of the company will not be relevant anymore. What will now be relevant will be what the fiscal year of the government, which is always starting 1st of January 2020, 31/12/2020. As we are going to see later on, we will see that this actual year basis actually created a number of problems in the old law. For example, there were situations of gaps in business period and overlapping of business periods. All right, we're going to see that later. So, from financial 2019 to reiterate, I said that companies are now being assessed to tax on preceding year basis. So, let us take illustrations together. Please, can you all see my Excel this thing? Please confirm that you can see my Excel screen.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yes, I can.
Let's have preceding year basis here. So if the accounting year end of a company is, say, 30 June, for instance, 30 June, for instance, and um, say 30 June, for instance, and what else? Uh, what else? What other information can I give? Okay. If the accounting year end is 30 June and we are under preceding year basis, for 2020 year of assessment, 2021 year of assessment, 2022 year of assessment, um, I want us to give me answers, provide me answers, basis periods. What are the basis periods for this year of assessment? So the accounting year end is 30th of June. And now we are looking at 2020, 2021, and 2022 year of assessments. So what are the basis period? What would the basis periods be? I'm going to be calling names. Okay, someone should go first. I can see someone is unmuted already. For 2020, what will be the basis period? Okay, let me do the first one. Let me do the first one for us, then we can pick it from there. So for 2020, right, we said that for preceding year basis, the the basis period must start and end before the year of assessment, right? And what is the year of assessment now? 2020. Someone should unmute and let me know we're on the same page.
1st of July 2019.
Okay, just let me know that we are on the same page. We are on the same page, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I want to make sure everyone is being carried along. So I want to do the first one to get with together with us. So for the first one for 2020, right? I already explained that the basis period must for our preceding year basis it must start and end before the year of assessment. And now the year of assessment is 2020. So the first thing I must know is that the the basis period must definitely be 2019. It cannot exceed 2019 because 2019 is the year before 2020. Is that clear? So whatever the basis period will be, it cannot exceed 2020. All right. So for 2020 now, if it is a normal basis, which I'm still going to explain, so it means that our basis period will then be 1st of July 2018, right, to 30th June 2019. All right. So this would if 30th of June is the end, then the next one is going to begin when 1st of July. So we can safely realize safely note that the beginning of the accounting period is 1st of July. Yeah, 1st of July. If the end is 30th of June. Please, is that clear?
No.
It's not clear, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much for making me realize that. So I explained in the definition. I explained that for preceding year basis, right? The basis period must start and end before the accounting year end. I believe the reason why this is a little complicated is because I chose 30th of June first. If I had chosen 31st of December, it would have been easier because everyone knows that if the accounting year end is 31st of December and everything is equal, then the beginning will be January because it will be January to December, right? Right. Who was that said it was not clear?
I'm the one. I'm getting.
Is it Aramide?
Yes, I am.
Aramide, okay. So I said the reason why I think it's a bit and it is normal, it's expected, right? So let me just start from this simple one. So if the accounting year end is 31st of December, then the beginning would have been January, right? January, 1st of
Yes,
January.
January 1st.
Yeah. So the basis period would have been from the beginning of that period to the end of the period, right? That would have been what Aramide would have been 1
What?
2019,
2019. Okay.
yeah, to 30
To it,
12 2019.
yes.
Is it clear?
Yes.
Then 2020 would have been 1 2020 to
The first
31
12
12
2021.
20 what?
21.
No, don't
2020.
forget exactly. Sorry, apart from Aramide, who else has not gotten it? Please. I want my joy is to make to see that you understand it, and this is actually very very important. That's why I'm taking my time to explain it. If it is not clear, I beg you, please let me know. I will take my time. If this is the only thing that we spend to lecture today to address, I'm satisfied. All right, is it clear? So the third one, who can do the third one for us? Don't forget we have changed the accounting year end to 31st of December now. For 2022, someone should do the
The-
2022. Is
Yeah,
that
I want to
Aramide?
call.
No, Aramide, is that you?
Yeah.
No, I don't want you. Someone else. Sorry. Pardon me. I want
Yeah.
someone else.
Hi. For
I who is let me know
it's
who's talking
Chidinma.
because I'm not on this. Eh? Chidimabi?
Chidinma.
Okay, Chidima.
Yeah. So for 2022, it should be 1st January 2021 to 31st December 2021.
Okay, 1st January 2021. 21 to
31st
31 December
12
2020.
2021.
Do we all agree with her? Do you all agree with Chidema?
Yes.
Yes.
We all agree, right? Okay. So let us move like a little bit. Let's take something a little more complicated, right? So now the gist is that if it does not start, if the year end is not December, then it's most likely the beginning will be a different year. No, not that if most likely say if it is 12 months period, then the beginning will be the year before. Let me explain what I'm saying. So if it is 30th September, for instance, and we are looking at 2018, and if you are saying, let me just say that if you are saying um 31st September, 31st, yeah, September, right? 2018. What would have been the beginning of the financial year? It would have been somewhere around 2017, right? Because it's only 9 months in 2018. Please, do you get what I'm trying to say? So the beginning would have been when October, right? 2017 for it to be 12 months, isn't it? Am I correct, please?
You're correct.
Like, there's a reason why I
Yes.
want us to get this. There's a reason why I want us to get it. So if it is not 31st of December, don't let them confuse you. If it's not 31st of December, right, and you already know that the period would then be earlier than January. Then if it is earlier than January, it means it will be from the year before, right? It will be from the year before. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So the clue is to just say what is the day after 9th, after September, after 30th September rather, is 1st of October. It means that the beginning would have been 1st of October the year before, which is 2017. Is it clear? So based on that, let us do something a little bit more complicated. So let's look at an year end of 30 June, 30th June. Let's look at the same tax years. I hope we are all fine with me using both taxes and year of assessment. It is deliberate so that it can drive home the fact that both the same thing. So let's look at 2020, 2021, and 2022. Yeah, 2022. All right. So I'm going to do the first one for us. For 2020, it would have been and the accounting year end is 30th June. Don't forget that. So it would have been, so the clue is what is the day after 30th of June? 1st of
June.
July. Yeah. So it would have been 1st of July 2019, Abi. 1st of July 1/7/2019. So when 30th. No, it's not be 2019 anymore because it has to be, we said for preceding year basis, it must start and end before the year of assessment. So everything must end in 2019, right? So it means that this one would have started since 2018, right? And end 30 June 2019. The clue again is that if it is preceding year basis, I must not see the year in my basis period because it must have started and ended before the year of assessment. All right, don't make the mistake, please. Most of the time, because so that the examiner will confuse you, they will most likely not give you 31st of December as your year end. All right, they will not give. And please, when you are jotting, you can see there's a reason I'm particularly using this so that we can be able to structure it in our notes properly too. So what I expect you to do is just to have illustration for preceding year basis, then actual year. I said actual year, accounting year end, 31 December, then have that as the heading, then business period. Then you can have on top of this, for instance, on top of this, you can have your year of assessment as a label, right? And then here you can now have your basis period. So this will be the two heading, while this will be just your accounting year end, just to be able to structure our notes properly. All right. So for this now, I already did this for us. So let me do this as well. No, sorry. So this will be our year of assessment or tax year, and this will be our basis period, right? So when you are writing it, when you are jotting it in your notes, please. So for 2021, Chidima. Oh, Chidima has spoken before. Let me look for someone else. Pardon me. Let me look for someone else. Media has spoken. Tolu, let's hear your voice. So for
Okay,
2021,
for
Tolu,
2021, it's gonna be 1st of July 2019 to 30th of June 2020.
thank you, thank you. 1st of July 2019 to 30th June 2020. You can all see that, right? You can see that you cannot see anything 2021 in the basis period. Remember, the definition is it must start and end before the year of assessment. All right. Let me quickly do the who else? Abiodun. I've not heard your voice. For 2022, Abiodun.
Okay, sir. For 2022 is going to be the 1st of July 2020
Okay.
to 30th of June 2021.
30th of June 2021. Thank you so much. Please, I want to be sure that we all got this. If there's any question that you have, let me quickly take 1 minute. Who has a question, please? Is it clear to everyone? Let me put it on the screen so that we can probably we're writing. Is it clear? Is it clear, please?
Clear, sir.
Yes.
Yes, it's clear now.
Please
Yes, yes.
don't follow everybody to say yes. If it's not clear, please let me know. Is there anyone that has anything that is not clear, please?
It's clear.
Okay. It's clear, right? So it means we can move ahead. Okay. Now, the next thing we want to look at is normal basis, right? So for a normal basis, we say that there are just three characteristics to define it. The first pardon me, is that it must be a 12-month period. So you can already assume all of the examples that we have seen are all what normal basis. They are all under normal basis. The first one, it must be 12 months period. The second thing is it must commence immediately after the year end of the previous one. As you can all see, like I said again, all of the one illustration we just saw now is, let me go there, is a normal basis. You can see that immediately this one is ending, the next one is commencing immediately a day after. This one ended 30th June 2020. This one started 1st of July 2020. That is a normal basis. And like the name sounds, it means that is what you should normally see on the field, or that is what you should normally see in practice. When the taxpayer is tendering is when the taxpayer is filing his account, right? What you should see should be a 12-month period. What you should see should be that it has started a day immediately after the one that he filed in for the previous year ended. Then the third thing is it must be on preceding year basis. Let me call someone. If I not called. Olaseni, what do we say it means when we say it must be on preceding year basis? What does that mean? What does it mean when we say it must be on preceding year basis?
It means the year of assessment must start and end before the end of accounting year.
Okay. Yeah, you tried.
Thank
But
you.
I would say it now. I don't want us to forget again, please. All right. It's when we say that it is preceding year basis, it means that not the year of assessment first. It means that the basis period. Just see basis period. Basis period, like for accountant, is similar to what we know as financial year, right? That is, financial year is a period. It has a beginning, it has an end. That is what basis period is too. It has a beginning, it has an end, right? So we are saying for preceding year basis, the starts of that basis period and the end of the basis period must be before the year of assessment. Oh, that's is it clear?
Yes, it's clear, sir. Thank you.
So the basis period must start and end before the year of assessment. That is what we mean by
Your assessment.
preceding year basis. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
So abnormal. So I said there are three characteristics. Please note it though, because I'm going to quiz you in the next class. For on the other hand, we have what we also known as abnormal basis period, right? And it is just the opposite of what the normal basis is, right? Number one, it is less than or more than 12 months period. That is, it is not 12 months period. Secondly, it may not start immediately the previous tax year's basis ends. All right. And in what situation can we actually have this? In what situation, what can make it possible for a taxpayer's book not to be up to 12 months or for it to be more than 12 months? What are the things that can cause it? This is not normal, like the name says, abnormal basis period.
Hmm.
What are the things that can cause it?
Maybe, sorry, I probably the company starts the year of operation on a leap year. In a leap year.
Okay, okay. I never thought of that. Yeah, okay. But regardless, it will still be if it is still 12 months, then it's still normal basis, right? Leap year is just a day more than a normal year. Do you get that, Olaseni? Oh no, allow me this, sorry. Do you get that? It's just a day after, it's just a day more. Like for instance, this year is a leap year, for instance. The only difference between a leap year and the normal year is leap year has 29 days in February. So I will not take that. Who else want to try? But thank you so much, Aramide. I think Aramide has been the most engaging person. I want everybody to engage me like this. So what are the things I want us to like think about it, like discuss, like just have a gist about it. What do you think can make it why do you think a company would have like less than 12 months period? What are the things or more than 12 months period? What are the things that could have caused it? I've called Olaseni before. Chidima, what do you think?
I think commencement of new business, especially maybe when they don't start from a beginning of that same year. Maybe when they start maybe around March or just within the year. They
Mhm.
not start at the beginning. So and the accounting this thing maybe has to end. Probably they started March and they want the accounting period to be maybe around April. So you see that it might be more than 12 months. Or maybe they want accounting period to end maybe by August or September, depending on what they choose the accounting distance to be. So that can also affect.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much. Like Chidima mentioned, you like agree with me that virtually all the companies that has rather 31st December as their accounting year did not start their business January 1st. Because who goes to work January 1st? We are all at home eating New Year rice or New Year food. So automatically, before anybody can even say that, oh yeah, share with us, so we are directors, let's not come and commence business. So nobody can fix the stats for January 1. It's not possible. So I can safely say that most of the companies that have their accounting year end as 31st December, that their first year must have been less than 12 months. All right, because they most likely did not start January 1. So, like Chidima mentioned, the first thing that can make us see, all right, that can cause an abnormal basis is commencement of a new trade or business, right? And that's the first thing that we have here. All right. So a company starts business in June and says that it decided that its accounting year end is 31st December. It means that for that first year, the number of months that it's going to have is 6 months. All right, or 7 months if you start by June rather. You can see that it's September he wants to start his business, 1st of September. It means that the number of months that he's going to have for that year is 4 months. You can say that it's 1st of October. It means that it's the only month that is going to like account for that particular year. It's going to be October, November, December. 3 months. All right. So that is what we are talking about. Another thing that can cause um, abnormal basis is what we know as cessation of an existing trade or business. So a company has been operating but for one reason is liquidating or is stopping business, stopping trade. You agree with me that it is most likely they are not going to end their trade at the on their accounting year end, on the end of their accounting year rather, right? The accounting year can be 31st December, and they will decide that okay, at this point we cannot go further, and it's just June 30. That's another example of what can cause an abnormal basis. So it means that for that period, it will only be since they are ending their business in June 30. It means that for that period, it will just be 6 months that they are going to account for as their terminal year because it's now a terminal year they are folding up, right? The third thing is when there is a change in accounting dates. I'll give you an example because I work a lot with with entities in the financial services industry, right? And most of them banks and all of that. So prior to 2020, banks are at liberty to choose whatever year end they want to choose. But from that time, CBA mandated that every bank rather, must normalize the accounting year end to be 31st of December. So it is statutory or it is a compulsion that every bank that is in Nigeria will have 31st of December as the accounting year end. So if there are banks during that period that add, for instance, 31st of 30th of September as the accounting year end, if they are changing, it means that the way they will account will be different, right? Their accounting year is not the accounting year end is now changing. So for some of them, if their year end is, for instance, 30th of September initially, right, and they are starting like 1st of October from the year before, and now it's now 31st of December, it means that they will account for more than 12 months. Is it clear? So that is a very good example. So I said the first thing that can lead to, because all of these things normally come out in theory, and my own idea is I do not like to cram. If it works for you, fine. For the purpose of the example, personally, I don't like to. I just want to understand it, and That is my prescription for you. Just try to like understand it and try to like make it familiar in your mind. So the first thing I said, commencement, it can be more than or less than 12 months because of they're just starting business. Second thing I said is cessation of existing trade or business. That is, um, they are closing, and it's most likely they are not going to close their business when it is the accounting year end. All right. So they are closing before the accounting year end, and so it is most likely going to be less than the normal period. The third thing I said, when there is what a change in accounting date, and I give example of banks that have to like normalize and adjust to having 31st of December every year. All right. Is it clear, please? Is it clear? So let's go to we have given like a very good background to the topic already. So let's go to the first part, the first major part. Well, every other part has been major anyways, because without those parts, you can understand this. So basis period on commencement of new trade or business. Commencement of new trade or business. And what necessitated I can't to have a separate section for it for this is actually Finance Act 2019. because Financial Act 2019 actually gave like spelled out how this should be addressed. All right. And what is said in section 29, subsection 3 of CETA is that the accessible profits of any company from any trade or business, right? So I'm reading. For its first year of assessment and the 2 following year of assessments will be ascertained as follows. Please let's pay attention. I'm going to like demonstrate it on the Excel workbook, but first let's pay attention. So when the company is starting business for the first time, there are 3 years that are very, very important to us. First, the first year. How do we account for the first year? Second, the second year. Then the subsequent years. So for the first year, we are saying that the Act specifically say that the accessible profit, right, or the profit of the company would be from the date of commencement of business to the end of the first accounting period. Or let me say it this way. The Act says that for the first year, the basis period will be from the date of commencement of the business, right, to the end of the first accounting period. I'm going to repeat that. For the first year, it's going to be from the beginning of the commencement of business to the first accounting period. And as you can see, I'm emphasizing on date of commencement. It is most likely that the company would have incorporated their business before and they have not started business. You are not going to like your business period is not going to cover for the period that they know do business. Your business period or your accessible profits will be from the date of commencement to the first accounting period. That's the first one. The second one is the basis period will be from the day immediately after the end of the previous accounting year. That is a day after the end of the first accounting period to the end of the second accounting period. The third one is it will be from a day after the end of the second accounting period to like it will be on preceding years. That's just what the act is trying to say. So if you check everything that they are saying, what they are just simply trying to say is that for commencement of for company that is just commencing business, their profit will be assessed to tax on preceding year basis. For the first year, it will be from when they commence business till their first accounting year end. And like I explained, for the normal basis, the second year will now be immediately the first year ends, immediately after the first year ends, till the end of the second one. Then the third one will be on preceding year basis. That is, you will repeat what you have in two. A day after the second year end till the end of the third accounting period. The fourth will be a day after the end of the third accounting period till the end of the fourth accounting period. Is that clear? Let's have an illustration. I believe okay, there's an illustration here. So yeah, I also mentioned, initially I also said it. I said that before there were always when we had actual year basis as a norm for assessing our tax. There is always like a lot of complications in the fact that at times, because you have to be assessing, when there's always gap in the period. In some periods there will be gap. In some periods will overlap. Why? Because for the actual year basis, the rule is a bit different. For the first year, it is from the beginning of this thing to the first 12 months. Second one next, it's just like a lot complicated. There are a lot of complications with it. You will see the periods that you have having in the second year you also find it in the first year. Then you now be like, we have assessed some of these the tax for some of these periods in the first year. Why are we also having it in? So what do we do? All of those complications, Finance Act has helped us to like remove them because of the preceding year basis. All right, all of the preceding year basis. So I said for this illustration, we said where the date of commencement DOC is 1st of October 2020 and the year end is 30th of this 30 April, 30th of April, right? The basis period will be as follows. For 2020 year of assessment, it's just the same thing that we have done. That is the first year. Okay. I think, okay, let's just do this one together first. Then the next one will be on the Excel. So for this now, for this date of commencement, means the first basis period will be from 1st of October because that's the date of commencement, 2020 till when? 30 April when? 2021. Right? If that is the first basis period, then what will be our year of assessment? It will be the year after. It cannot be the same year because it is preceding year basis. And that's the reason why we're having 2022 year as our first what? Year of assessment. All right, and we can see the basis period here. It is 1st of October 2020 to 30 April 2021. Since this is the basis period now, we cannot have 2021 because normally you would have looked at the question and be like, if you did not sit down and maybe like spell it out like this, you would have sit down and be like, okay, since the date of commencement is, yeah, you will not check very well that this is October. So the year end would, the first year end will be the year after, right? Because the year end is like months before October. So definitely it will be the year after. The next one will be the year after. All right. So just look at it and say, since this is 2020, then the year of assessment, the first year of assessment should be 2021. No, don't do that. Please don't make the mistake of doing that. To be on the safer side, spell out your basis period first. Since you know the rule that guides the basis period, that it is from the date of commencement rather to the first accounting year end, then write it out. Then you already know that the year of assessment will be the year following or a year after, right? So the year of assessment will then be what, 2020. For the second year of assessment, which is 2023, it will be a day from the end of the first accounting period, which is 1st of May. A day after 30th of April is 1st of May 2021 till the end of the second accounting year, which is 30th April 2022. For 2024, which is the next one, it will be a day after the day after the second accounting period, rather, to the end of the third accounting period, which is, sorry, there's a mistake here. This should be 2023. I hope you can see that. I hope you get what I'm trying to say. This should be 2023. All right, this should be 2023. It should be 1st of May 2022 to 30th of April following year. Please, I want two people to unmute and let me know that they are, because we are going to be like doing one together now. I want two people to unmute and let me know that they are following. I hope we are not. I hope you are following, please. Chidima, are you following me?
Yes.
Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
Muyibat, are you following, please?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes.
And you are getting it.
Yes, yes.
Olaseni, are you following?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
And you are getting it.
Yes, I am.
Tolu, are you getting it? Tolu?
Sorry, I kind of lost you halfway.
Okay.
I had something happen, so I was a bit distracted.
Okay. Where? At what point?
I was with you up until when you were describing the different tax years. That's the first, second, and third. But when you
Is it
started saying your Excel,
Oh,
yes,
when I was working on Excel,
yes, I kind of lost you a bit there. Apologies. But I'll go through it again. And if I don't understand, I'll let you know.
Okay, what we are currently discussing is actually very similar to it, and we are about to go to the Excel again. So I will just maybe touch on it for you.
Okay. Thank you.
Abiodun,
I'm
Abiodun.
fine. Fine, sir.
No, it's not. I'm not saying. I know you are fine, Abiodun. Are you with me, and are you getting it?
Getting
Eh?
it. That's what I mean.
Okay, that's what you mean, Abi. Okay.
It.
Okay. All right, that's fine. All right. So we have done this together now. I want you guys to do this for me, and I'll just switch to the Excel now. So for this, let me just copy the question, then take it to
Sorry.
Excel. So that's
Hello.
okay. I
Yeah.
can hear
Before
you.
my question is the third year. Can you touch the third year again? You said the third year with the preceding year, right? Of the second year. Is that what
So
you said?
for everything it is basically the same thing, right? It is the same thing, but it is good that you have the understanding of what the way it's good that you have the understanding the way the actor spelled it out, like as in first year, second year, and third year. But what you are pretty much what you are doing is pretty much the same thing. Trust me. So the only difference is that for your first year to be from the date of commencement to the end of their first accounting period. Second year is basically the same thing. A day after or the first day after the first accounting period to the end of the second accounting period. Then the third one will be they said for the third and subsequent years, the accessible profits shall be assessed on preceding year basis. And I explained what they meant. What they meant is that you are doing the same thing you did in second for the second year. That is, for the second year, you said the basic period will be a day after, right? The first accounting period. For this third one, now it's not be a day after the second one, after the end of the second one, to the end of the third accounting year. For the fourth one, it will be a day after the end of the third accounting year to the end of the fourth one. For the fifth one, it will be a day after the fourth accounting year end till the end of the fifth accounting year end. Is it clear now? Aramide, is it clear? Aramide, please confirm to me if it's clear.
I'm digesting it. Okay.
Okay. I think I love that. Just take your time, right? All
All
right.
right.
Thank you. So I said for the third year, right? And I highlighted this already that this is a mistake, and I believe you can all relate. It should be a day after the second accounting year end. Of course, this is correct. The beginning is correct. Then I said it should be to the end of the third accounting year end, right? The third accounting year end should be 30/4/2023, right? If the first one ended 2021, second one ended 2022, the third one should end 2023. Is that clear?
Mhm.
It's clear, right? Is it clear? Someone should unmute and let me know.
You are not sharing your screen, sir.
Are you serious? I know.
Yes. Aramide that we are seeing, Aramide Adedayo.
No, that's not possible. Maybe my screen is lagging. I'm sure. What about now?
No, I remember that you're still on the screen.
It's still
Oops.
the
Let me let me stop sharing and reshare. I will stop sharing and reshare. Please let me know when you can see my screen again. Sorry, can you see my screen now?
it's still rolling.
It's
Uh,
double click to enter first. Um,
what's happening?
it's saying you have started screen sharing, but we are not
What
seeing
is
what
happening?
you
What is
have.
happening?
It's dark.
What I have? Uh,
It's dark.
is my network? It can't be my network. Maybe.
Mm-mm.
It's still not sharing. Okay, just give me a minute. Let me try to connect on. Can you hear me? That is very strange. Anyways, can you hear me now?
We can
Can you
hear
hear me?
you.
We can hear
Okay.
you.
Yes.
I hope his network is better. I have to switch network.
I don't really think it's network. There's a way you were doing it where uh you had
Uh,
so many you had so many windows and you picked the one that has the manual. I don't think it's a
oh, maybe that
yeah, I
was
think
the
that's
issue,
the
right? Maybe
problem.
I shared like sharing the particular window, right?
I think so.
What about now?
Yeah.
Can you see my screen now? It is
Okay.
fine now.
No, you've not. It's not on the manual yet. It, you've not clicked on it. You're on taxation class. Click that one. I think that should work. So you're actually sharing the screen. You're not just sharing the window. Yeah, we are there now. Oh, if you've gone back.
Okay. What about now?
No, you've not clicked it. Yes, we are there now. Thank you. You've gone back.
I think it's lagging. What about now?
You click on it. Yes. Okay, yes. Ah,
What's happening?
okay, it's better. It's there now. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, can you see my cursor moving? Is my cursor? Can you see my cursor moving?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
So I'm going to my Excel now. Am I on my Excel with you now? Are we on the same page?
No, we're on the manual. Yeah, we're
Maybe
on
it's
Excel
lagging.
now.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So I copied the question, the second question that we have for commencement rule. Let me just name this commencement rule. Illustration. Okay. All right. So for this, we said X, Y, Z. Can you all see the question? Can you all see the question? Please, like, you can
Yes,
see the
sir.
question. You can see the question. Okay. XYZ commenced business on March 1, 2020 and makes up accounts to 34 October 34. Let me hide all of this so that it won't distract us. Is it computer? So let's try it. Okay. Oh, oh, that's fine. Let's continue. All right. So we said the business the XYZ started business March 1, 2020, right? So we have there is a commencement, right, in 2020, March 1, 2020, and makes up its account to October 31st of every year, right? So the solution, right? We're going to have what on the first column. We're going to have what year of assessment, YOA. In the second column, we are going to have what basis period.
Right.
And if they have given us profit, accessible profit, on the third column, we will now have what accessible profit. But in this case, we are just going to have two columns, right? Because we do not have the accessible profit. So the question has asked us like, you know, demonstrate our knowledge about the relevant year of assessments.
Mm.
Okay. And the first thing to do, I explained to you earlier, I said for you to be on the safer side, it is always good, since you know the rule that guides the basis period, right? It is better for you to spell out the basis period first, for the first one at least, so that you can know accurately what year will be the year of assessment. But if you are not like if you have not become an OG, you are not so familiar with it, you can. But that when I started learning it, that was what helped me. All right,
Okay.
because I cannot just say that okay, because the commencement of business is 2020 and then the accounting year is 31. At first, I could not just say that okay, the first year of assessment will then be 2021 or 2022.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? So
Yes,
I
sir.
have to always, since I know the rule that guides the basis period, then let me spell out the basis period first before
Mm.
deciding what the year of assessment is.
That's what will be.
Do you understand? So for the basis period now, the first basis period will be from when the rule is what? I'll do the first one first, then we'll do the remaining ones. The rule is what? Can we
For the first
please
commencement.
from the who is that? Who is
Flashing.
talking? Okay,
Flashing.
all right, thank you. So it will be from the commencement of business, right? That's first of what March, right? March is 3, right?
Yes, sir.
2020, 2022. When?
October,
31st.
that's 31st.
The first account to the end of the first accounting period, isn't it? So it will
Yes,
be
sir.
now be 31st, then 20 what? 20 what now?
I think
2020.
20. Yeah.
Don't think.
Thank you.
2020 is 2020.
So the idea is March, October is beyond March, right? So it
Yeah.
means
Yeah.
accounting year and will end that year.
Mm.
But for instance, if they commence October and then the end is March, then you know that the next March is the following year.
Yes.
But yeah, the next March is still in the same year.
Okay.
Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So 2020. Now, looking at this, what would that be the year of assessment?
2021.
2021.
2021. That
2021.
is the assess after the company has finished all of their um whatever it is that they are doing. All right. So for the second one, who will I call? Who should I call? Let me think about someone. Abiodun, for the second one, what will be the basis period? We already know that the second year of assessment will be 2022. So what will be the basis period? So this is the way I want you to answer it. Tell me what the law says, then give me the answer.
1st of November 2020 to
Tell
31st
me
of
what the law says first. What does the law say?
Sir?
So tell me what the act says first. What does the act say?
Okay, the act says the second year should start immediately after the ending of the preceding year of the first year
And end when?
and end at the base, end at the accounting year.
Okay. So for the second, it would be like Abiodun mentioned, it will be a day immediately after the first accounting year ends, right? And it will end on the second at the end of the second accounting period,
Period.
right? So yeah, give me the answer now.
1st of November 2020
Thank
to
you.
31st August 2021.
21st August. Did you say August?
October. It should be October.
Why did you say August, Abiodun?
It's a mistake. I'm trying to count 12 months.
No, you don't have to count. See, this is the year end. You already know it was the year end will always be the constant, except if they are season business. All right, you don't have to count 12 months. Is that clear,
Okay,
Abiodun? The
thank you,
year
sir.
end is 1 October. All
Okay.
right, it will always be 31 October. That's why I said for preceding year basis, the accounting year end is very, very important because that will form the end of the business period for each of the years. All right, so you don't have to count 12 months. Over the old rule that we normally count 12 months, they will say next 12 months, clinical. Yeah, we don't have that. And it is deliberate. I'm actually not like taking us through that because I don't want complications in your head. ICANN will not test it, so there's no point, and nobody actually makes reference to it anymore. So 31 October 2020, what? Abiodun?
2021.
Okay, thank you. All right. The next one is 2023, right? Who am I calling for this? Chidima, you people should tell people about network so that the number of people I'll be calling will not be the same set of people. I mean, if I have like 40 people on this group now, I mean, you can be once I call your name once, for instance, you can at least be at rest that okay, I will not call your name again, but so far we are here, you're a closed group. You people should tell your friends about networks. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, 2023.
Okay. 1st November 2021 to
First November.
31st October 2022.
Thank you so much. Because you are sounding like an OG. All right, I think we are done with this. Does anyone have any question? Does anyone have any question? When is this class supposed to end?
11 o'clock.
Okay, we have time. Okay, so the second this one now we have to do a little bit of calculation. For this one now, for this second one, let me copy the question. Hope my screen is not lagging anymore. You can all see what I'm doing, right? Oh, okay, it won't work that way. It won't work that way. So let's just read the question from here. I don't like the way I'm seeing it. Okay, it could have worked. Let me see. And work. See. Uh, I don't know. Let me do it like this. Do this. Then wrap text. All right. I think we are good. Okay. So for this one, let me do this. Pardon me. All right. For this one now, let's read the question together. I don't want us to be toggle between two tabs. That's why I'm putting the question here. For the second one, we said Orion Limited was incorporated in December 2018 and commenced business on October 1, 2019. The first set of financial statements prepared by the company covered a period of 15 months. That is October 1, 2019 to December 31, 2020. And the adjusted profit was 3 million naira required. Ascertain the relevant basis periods and the accessible profits for the relevant assessment years. Okay, so let's have our solution. Solution will say determination. That's how you're going to write it in your exam. Determination of what? Of what? Relevant
Yes.
basis periods or okay, yeah, or yes, and accessible profits. That's how to answer question. Right, for the relevant YOA. So for that, I said you are going to maintain, now that we have profit now, we are going to maintain three, how many columns now? Three columns. The first column will be what? Your relevant year of assessments. The second column will be what? Basis period. Yes. Basis period. And your third listing will now be what? Accessible what? Accessible profit. Thank you. All right. So we know the rule. We know the rule. The rule says that for the first year, Finance Act 2019, Section 29, subsection 3, says that for the first year, the basis period rather should be from the date of commencement to the first accounting year end. I'm deliberately repeating it though. The second one should be from the end of the first accounting year end to the end of the second accounting year end. The third one should be a day immediately after the second accounting period to the third, and subsequently like that should be on preceding year basis, the same thing every year. All right. So from this question now, our first basis period, it is safer to first determine our first basis period so that we can know what our first relevant year of assessment will be. All right. So what is our basis period? They said what is the date of commencement? For our first basis period, we need the date of commencement and the date of the first accounting year end, right? What's our date of commencement?
That's for December 2018.
Eh?
1st of October
October
2019.
2019, sorry.
So I want you to always pay attention to this. Pay good attention. In this question, they're trying to confuse you. They said Orion Limited was incorporated in December 2018, right? It's never the date of incorporation, but always the date of commencement. If it's date of incorporation, I'm not making any money. Why do you want to come and set me for tax? You won't. You cannot. In practice, the best you can do for any tax authority is to prepare a statement of affairs for them. There is no profit for them to assess, right? But from date of commencement now, the money is flowing in and out. Money is flowing, so there's something to assess. All right. So we said the commenced business on when? October 1, 2019. So our this period will then start when? October 1, that is 4th of October, 2019, right? Date of commencement. So when? The
31st
first
June.
accounting year, first accounting year end. The first accounting year end is what? They
31st
say
of December 2020. Yes.
okay, come again with that.
December 31st.
Till
What year?
31st December 2020.
Okay. So if they commence business 2019, the first accounting year end, December is beyond October. Don't forget. So the first December that they are going to that there is going to be is going to be in what year?
2019.
2019.
I hope you are getting the gist now. They will probably want to confuse you, right? They will want to confuse you. I'm sorry, please. They will want to confuse you. All right. They want to confuse you, but you must always pay attention. All right. The first accounting year end will be, if they commence business October 1, 2019, the first accounting year end will be December 31, 2019. That same year, they will have a first accounting year. So, are we on the same page?
Okay.
Are we on the same page, please?
Please
It's me.
explain that again.
Okay, thank you so much. Is that Chidima? All right, okay, it's fine. So I said that if I'm commencing business in October, and then I've decided that my accounting year end, nobody would decide for me. I would be the one that would decide, except there's a regulatory authority that is deciding for us. I have decided that my accounting year end will be every 31st of December. All right. If I'm commencing business before that 31st of December, right? If I'm commencing business in October, it means that same year I will have a first accounting period, accounting year end, which will span from the date I commenced in October till that December of that year. It might not be 2 months, it might be 3 months, but it's my first accounting year.
December. Okay.
Do you understand that? Please, do you get it, please? I want to be sure that you got it.
Yeah, that's
Should I,
true.
should I come
That's
again, please?
So basically, I think their first year end, it doesn't have to be 12 months. It could be 6 months. It could be 4 months. Is that what you're saying?
Thank you so much. That is what I'm saying. Remember, if you flash back to what we said about abnormal basis, we said 3 things can lead to abnormal basis. The first thing is if there's a commencement of a new trade. Second thing is if there's cessation.
Station.
The third thing is if there's a change in accounting period. This is a perfect example of an abnormal basis because they are commencing business. If you check this first one too that we did here, they commenced business in March 1, 2020, right? And they ended and their account they made up their account to October 31st. If you count, you'll see that it's not up to 12 months. So it's a commencement. I told you if you remember then I told you I said it will be very scarce for you to see a company that will have a normal business in their first year of business. It will be really scarce. That was when I was explaining that, for instance, if a particular company said that they want to have 31st of December as their accounting year end, automatically it means almost automatically it means that their fourth accounting year cannot be 12 months. Because who will start business on January 1st? For it to be 12 months, it means they have started January 1. Most of them, all of the directors and the workers and everybody will be at home eating with food with their family. So commencement is always a reason for abnormal basis. So in this case now, they commenced business. It does not have to be 12 months. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes.
Are you sure? You are sure, right? It is clear, right? Before I move ahead. Okay. I assume that is a yes. Okay. 1st of October 2019. So when now?
31st
24th
December
December
20.
2019.
2019. So we have sorted our basis period. So I want someone to tell me what our year of assessment to them be.
2020.
2020. You can see it is easier for you to have the order that way. Now,
Yes,
this
sir.
is where there's now the complication, a little bit of complication, right? They told you that, which is most likely what will always be the case for most companies. Most of the company, the law allows them to say that, okay, if, for instance, the month between your date of commencement and the first accounting year end is not so much, you are allowed to carry it forward to the next year, right?
Mm.
And prepare a conjoined, oh, no, sorry, a summarized financial report for the period together. Then after that one, you can now start your 12 months period. All right. And that is what this Orion Limited has done. So the first account that they prepared, they said it's covered 15 months. That is, it's covered for the first 3 months and then the next 12 months so that they can match up and then subsequently they cannot be doing their 12 months. Is it clear, please?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So it means that this 3 million naira that they have here is for the entire 15 months. So
15
how do
months.
we the one that belongs to this? Who can give me an idea? What do you think we should do for us to get the one that belongs to this? How many months is this from October to December 2019? How many
3 months.
months? 3 months, right?
3 months.
So how do we get the profit that belongs to that
Three
is
months.
for the 3 months?
That would be
Is
still over 15 times.
yeah,
Yeah.
3
So it
months.
is
already
so what you're
five.
trying to say is that we should what prorate, right? We should
Right.
Yes, sir.
prorate.
Mm.
Yeah. So what do we do to prorate? I'm going to be using an Excel formula, but it's just the same thing that you're going to write in your book. So you're saying for me to like do I would say it is equal to what 3 over what?
Three.
For this one over 15, right?
Yes, sir.
Times what? 3 million naira, right?
Yes, sir.
I don't know what's wrong with zero, right? And that would be what?
600.
600.
600,000. For me to get the second one, I can either say that I want to auto prorate or just simply since they are just 2 periods, I can either say 3 million minus this it will give me for the remaining 12 months. Or I can also say the remaining 12 over 15 times, I'll get the same thing. You get what I'm trying to say, right? So the next one is now what 2020. The next year will now be 2021, right? So are you
What?
following?
2021.
Please, if you're not getting, let me know. Let me just finish this and I'll ask. So, what would be the basis period? Someone else apart from Aramide and Chidima.
1st January
Who
2020.
is that?
Muibat.
Muiba, thank you. First, what?
January 1st January 2020 to 31st December 2020.
Okay, 1st January 2020. So 31st, thank you so much. 31st December 2020. Right. And I said that for this, I will just simply do the remaining 12 months over 15, right, times 3 million. 3, 1, 2, 3. And that'll give me 2.4. So, what to give me? So, I can just simply say 3 million naira minus this, right? And it give me 2.4 as well. So, either way, you can do it on your calculator. All right. But if I'm writing it in exam now, I will put my calculation here, right? Okay. Well, they will still be, I will still do the workings anyway. So, I will just come down here and have my workings right? That's to answer the exam so that they're not just giving your examiner the final answer. You get workings. So how did I arrive at this one? I will explain it. For 2020, I said 3 over 15, right? Times 3 million. Right? For 2021, and I said I can either say 3 million minus 600 or say 12 divided by 15 times 3 million. All right. So I can now so if it's for my work to be thorough, I can now if I have so many workings, I can label this as working one, right? And then I'll come and put the notes here as if for them to see how I got it, I can just put the notes as working one. And if this one is working two, I can have working two here just to point the attention of. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I'm trying to like teach you like you have to be thorough with your exam. You have to be detailed. You must not waste time. Are we communicating? Are we flowing? Am I communicating?
Yes. Yes.
Is it clear, please? Is it clear? Is it clear? Let's take a short break. Is it clear? Do you have any new person? I've met Toluayeni, I've met Olamide. Okay, we have 7 people now. I didn't say stars. Some people that didn't. Okay, yeah. Okay, I think
Sorry, please.
maybe.
Hello. This is
Hello.
Muibat. Sorry, please. I just want to ask a question.
All right. Go ahead.
Where does this answer the place that says sorry, where it's more than when we have it the period more
Okay.
than 12 months, more or less than 12 months in the abnormal basis period? Because
Yeah.
the first I was thinking the 12 month has to be used directly. That was why it was I called
Confusing.
1 to 31st December 2020 before you now splitted it on saying 3 months first, then 12 months follows.
Yes.
So
You know,
does that answer that area?
it answers it. And the thing is that it is what actually the act said. So number one, it answers the fact that we can have what we know as abnormal basis. But what we're actually following is what the Finance Act 2019 said. What did it say? It said that from the date of commencement to the first accounting year end. So you have to look at when is the first accounting year end. If they have said that their year end is December 31, which December 31st comes first?
Okay.
They could have prepared it over to the next accounting year end, though, but which one came first? So if tax authority is going to assess, right, the following year they will assess because they have already commenced business. So what they will do is to prorate their profits for the prior year.
Okay.
All right. Then the one for the remaining 12, it will be until the next year before they assess that one too.
Okay.
Is it clear?
Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you. So I already explained is that the commencement rule in Finance Act 2019 like remove the complexity around new companies, you know, overlapping and gap in this thing, all of that. It removed it. And I already explained that the assessment of new company are now what on preceding year basis. All right. I mentioned that too, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So next thing I want to look at now is cessation of trade. Cessation of trade, and that is where we're going to be ending today. We have a number of um, illustration to address here. So cessation of trade. So another thing that can, like we mentioned under abnormal basis, we said another thing um, that can lead to abnormal basis is cessation of trade, right? That the
Yeah.
company cannot further, to continue its business. So what do they do? So Finance Act 2019 also addressed that. Right? It said effective from. Oh, do you want to say anything? Effective from 2020 year of assessment, the assessable profits of a company ceasing to carry on business is the amount of the profits from the beginning of the accounting period, pardon me, to the date of cessation, and the tax thereof shall be paid within 6 months from the date of cessation. So there are two information here. The first information is what basis period, what period are we going to be looking at if a company is ceasing trade. It's saying that the basis period will be when the beginning of the period to the point at which the company decides to cease. So, for instance, if the beginning of the period is January 1 and the company is ceasing um, June 20, it means that the period for that final year before the cease will be January 1, 2020 to December to I said June, right? They are ceasing in June 2020, right? To June 30, 2020. And now the law now said the second information. The law, I hope you are jotting. Oh. The law now said that the tax for that period of cessation must be paid, must be filed and paid within 6 months from the date of cessation. What is the implication of that? The implication is that it will now be possible for a company's profits where they are ceasing trade to be assessed in the same year. So what it means is that any company that is ceasing, for instance, between January and June, 6 months after that will definitely fall in the same year because there are 12 months in the year, right? If they cease within the first 6 months, then definitely, according to the law, since the law said that they must pay their tax for that period within 6 months, then it means that they must pay within the second 6 months. Is it clear? Is it clear? I'm going to repeat it. I said that we have cessation of trade, right? The law says, Finance Act 2019 says that it is a must for the company to file and pay the tax for that period of cessation within what? 6 months from the date of cessation. So if they ceased in January, it means that they must pay 6 months from January will be when? July, right? Right? So it means that they must do whatever they want to do and pay their tax for that period that they seized within February and July. If they seized in June, it means that they must file and pay their tax within 6 months, which would now be within that July to December. If they seized in August, for instance, it means that they have how many months to file and pay? They have July. I say, okay, if they seize in August, rather, if they seize it at the end of August, for instance, if say August 31st, It means they have September, August, September, yeah,
Um,
or September, October, November, December, then
mhm,
January, February. It means that they have till
February.
January, or they have till February. Is someone saying something? It's in that they have till February the following year to file that cessation tax, that terminal tax. Let's think about that for a minute. Please try to think about it. If there's a cessation of trade, right, the company, according to the law, must pay the tax for that period of cessation, right, between within 6 months after the ceased. And the period of the cessation, the basis period for the cessation will now be what? From the beginning of the accounting year to the period at which they ceased. So, for instance, if the beginning of the period is January and they ceased in June, it means that the basis period for the cessation year will now be January 1 to June 30th, and then they will now have to pay within 6 months after the period that they ceased, which is June. The period they ceased is June. So it means that you will now count 6 months after that June. So within that 6 months is when they must pay. That's the first implication. The first implication is that it's possible for a company that is ceasing trade, especially if they cease between January and June. It's possible that they will be filing and paying their tax in the same year. The second implication is that it will not it is by implication it is possible for a company to file and pay two taxes in the same year. Two taxes in the same year. So for instance, the period preceding the period that they ceased operation. I'm going to give us illustration. Oh. I'm just trying to like explain, and I want us to like think along with me. Are we on the same page, please? Two people should let me know that we're on the same page. Hello, is my network bad? Am I communicating?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, sir.
Yes, you
All
are.
right. Okay. Thank you. So I said the second implication is that there's a possibility that a company will file and pay two taxes in 1 year. So I said that, for instance, the period preceding the period of trade, the period of cessation rather, it's possible that it will be filed and be paid in the same period of cessation. So an example is a company that is making its account up to 31st December every year and now ceased trade within January and June. By implication, it already means that they must file that cessation period in that year because 6 months after that period will definitely fall before December, right? That will be the first tax that that is the tax that they will file. Then there's the tax that they are for the period preceding that period of cessation, January to December, the period preceding the period of cessation, right? They will also file it the year after, which will also be the year of cessation. So it means in that year of cessation, they will be filing for the period before, since it is preceding year basis, then they will be filing for the period of cessation.
Yeah. Eh,
Illustration. I know it might not be so clear now. Let's just take illustration. Let's take an illustration. All right, let's take an illustration. For this illustration, it says that, let me copy it to the Excel so I can work with it. Should I use this and just delete? I don't want to be, I don't want to be imagine and losing cells again. Okay, I'll just hide this one so that can have a clean slate. Okay, I'm not sure this can be enough for us. All right. So they said Toby Nigeria Limited, that was incorporated in 2012, ceased operation on March 31, 2020, having been in business for over 30 years. A counting year end of the company is December 31 annually, right? December 31 annually. So determine the relevant year of assessment and the due dates of payment of tax. Determine the years of assessment and the due dates for the year for the payment of tax. Right. So solution will now be solution will be pardon me. Solution will be determination of relevant year of assessment, right? And due date of payment. I want two people. Okay, let me call someone. Let me call someone, please. Have I not called before? Okay. Ah, wait, how many people do we have now? Okay, we have eight now. I think someone else has joined us. We'll find out who the person is later. All right. Last lady. For cessation of period, what is the due date for payments according to the law? Last lady, please unmute yourself and answer.
Please, sir, the question again, sir.
I said for cessation of period, for the cessation of trade, pardon me. What
Okay.
is the due date for payments?
The due date. That's the basis period, right? Is that what you're asking?
No, that is for how long do they have for them to pay the tax for that
Okay,
series?
6 months.
Yeah, thank you so
After
much.
6 months after the cessation date.
Yeah, my heart almost caught that we were not following. You know, this converter is possible that some people know. Someone might be cooking like that. Please, let's not be like that. Oh. Okay, thank you so much, Olashin. So
Okay.
we have the determination of relevant year of assessment and the due date of what payments, right? Now, the first column is going to be our year of assessment. Our second column will be our basis period. Why is my P not giving me what I want? And our third column, pardon that, will be what due dates. Since they say we should give them the due date as well. Due dates. Now they said it was incorporated in 2012, ceased operation in March 31, 2020. Having been in business over the years, the accounting year end of the company is 31 December annually. Right, they ceased operation in March 31, 2020. So, and they said they have been in business over the years. That's that you should determine the relevant years of assessment and due dates of payment.
But this
All
now,
right.
this is uh,
This is what you want to see something. Okay, I think it's not for this class. So, what will be the relevant? What will be the relevant year of assessment? For this, just to be on the safer side, the relevant of the year of assessment is majorly the year of cessation because it did not give us any further information. But then we cannot start except you want to give them from date of incorporation. They did not tell them when they did not tell us when they commence business, right? So we cannot assume any month in 2012. So for us to just be on the safer side, the major year, we can see that the emphasis of the question is on when this is on cessation of business, right? It means that major relevant year of assessment is the year of cessation. But then the year preceding that year of cessation is also very important, if you agree with me. All right. So if the accounting year end of the company is to 31st December every year, it means that the beginning of the period will be when? Someone should answer me, please. If the accounting year end is 31st of December, then the beginning of the period will be when?
that's
January 4th.
Yeah?
January
January
4th.
1st.
January 1st. Okay. So it means for this one, it will now be January 1st, January 1. If they ceased business in 2020, then the first business period for the year preceding, it will be January 1, 2020 what, 2019 now,
2019 to December
to 31st December
2019.
2019. All right. For this one, the due date is when? The due date is, let's just say, is the due date will be this, it's to be the, okay, I will get to that. So what will be the year of assessment?
2020.
2020.
Eh?
2020.
2020.
2020. So according to the law, right, every company has 6 months. But I don't want to like confuse us. That's the reason why I don't want to like, even go into that. Right. Let's just leave it at that. The major one, the major year of assessment that they want us to give the date for. Is let's just give it for that. But I'm still going to get into that. I don't want us to push us too hard. For the second one now, the second year will not be this year of cessation, right? Right?
Uh,
Am I communicating? And when will it begin? According to the law, is when?
6 months after the cessation.
Yeah.
That's
Eh?
yes,
For
after
cessation.
cessation.
No, this is we have done before cessation. This is for the year of cessation now.
Yeah.
It will be from the beginning of the period, right? That's what the law says. From the beginning of the period,
1/1/2020.
2020. See the seized in 2020, right? To be 1/1/2020, which is also, if you see it, it's also the same thing as saying a day after the end of the previous one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when will it now be? To when now?
March 31st,
Yeah,
2020.
so the period it is actually very, very simple. 20 what? 2020. Now, the law now says that they must pay their tax 6 months after they cease business. So since they cease business in March, 6 months after March will be when? Let me calculate from April. Since they it's when?
September.
September, right? So it means their due date will now be when? 30 September, right?
September
What year?
2020.
2020. Please, is it clear?
It's clear to that due date, but it's not clear to that basic period.
It's not clear to the basis period. So for the basis period, the law says that it's in tax, it is law we are following. What the law has said is that if the company ceased operation, then the basis period or the profit that we're going to assess should be that from the beginning of the accounting period to the date that they ceased operation. That is what the law said, or that's what the law says. So for us now, the beginning of our accounting period is when? A day after, which is also the same thing I've been doing, a day after the previous one, right? Which is 1/1/2020 to the period that they ceased operation. What is the period that they ceased operation? 31 March 2020. And then we said they must pay 6 months after, which is what? 30th September 2020. Is it clear, please? Is it clear? Please, if it is not clear, let me know. So what will be the year of assessment now? What will be the year of assessment? Don't forget, don't confuse. It is still preceding year basis, but it's an abnormal basis now. So there's a separate rule for it. The rule is that they must pay their tax 6 months after.
Mm-hmm.
So the due date falls because they ceased before June. So automatically the due date is still within that year because the 6 months from that due date is still within that year. Am I communicating, please? So it means that the year that they are going to ask, the hour of assessment will still be that same year because they are ceasing operation. So their year of assessment will now still also be 2020. That was why I was explaining before that the implication of this cessation rule is that it is possible for a company to file two taxes in the same year. Am I communicating, please? You can see, for instance, now this company we have to file both taxes in 2020. The one for the period preceding the period of cessation, then the one for the period of cessation, because the 6 months after that time falls within the period. Is there any question? Please, if it's not clear, please let me know from this point so that we can take the next, so that we can take the last question and be done. Is it clear, please? We have till 11, so we have time. Please, is it clear? Is it clear, please? Is it clear? Is it clear, please? Please answer me. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. It's clear.
I assume that nobody is saying it's not clear, so I assume that it is clear. It is even very clear. Okay. Pardon me, give me a minute. All right, let's go to the last question now. For the last question, I'm going to be explaining something else. So, but before I explain it, let me throw a question out to us. Muibat, are you still there? Muibat, unmute and let me know that you're here.
Yes, I
Hi,
am.
Muibat. Okay. So, Muibat, I want to ask you a question, and every other person should be thinking about it. Okay, I'm going to ask you. We are saying that a company, right? If the company is ceasing business, right?
Yeah.
The basis period should be from the beginning of the period to the date that they ceased operation, right?
Yes, sir.
And the profit should be from that period as well. But there are possibilities where, okay, of course, this company is planning to cease business, but there are people that are still owing them and might probably not pay until they have ceased. Maybe they will probably pay after. Anything can happen. I can promise you I want to pay before you cease business, and I do not have the right. And the person that pays after, you get,
Okay.
or even for the company itself, there's a possibility that there are some payments that they will make after the after they have ceased business. How
Okay.
do we deal with that in tax? How do we deal with that? What do you think we should do? You are the head of FIRS now. What do you think we should do? What do
I
you think we should
think
do?
since there is 6 months, there is a grace of 6 months that
Yeah.
it's going to
I can't hear you again, but
since there is a window for 6 months after they are ceased to operate.
okay.
I believe I think the that can, because I don't know if the month you are asking is more than 6 months or within the 6 months. This 6 months is given to them. I believe it's going to they can work it within the 6 months.
Okay.
I don't know if
That's
if that
okay. That's
answers.
yeah. You have given me a good response. All right, Chidima, what do you think? Chidima, please unmute yourself and let me know what you think. Chidima, are you here? Chidima has left us, so you can't take dinner. Chidima, are you here? Olaseni, please let have you. Let's have you. What do you
Now,
think?
honestly
What do you
speaking,
think? To,
I do not understand the question. So I
okay, what
don't.
this is the question, right? There are some payments to be post cessation period. That is, there are some payments that will be there are some receipts and payment that will be done after the company has ceased business. Let me give you a very good example. Any company that wants to cease business will probably need, if it's a large company, right? they probably need the service of, for instance, receivers, all these liquidators and receivership experts, right? That will help
Okay.
them to, like, some people help them to, liquidate their assets, sort their stakeholders and all of that, and they will have to pay them fees for all of those work. So most of the time, those fees are always after the company has ceased business.
Okay.
Are you getting?
Yes.
Or even at times, it's possible that they have creditors that has not settled their obligation until
Mm-hmm.
after they have ceased business.
Yeah.
That is a receipt after. That's a receipt after the company
So
has
the
ceased business, isn't it?
mm.
So how do we deal with that in tax? How do we account for? How do we bring those money into the tax net? How do we account for it for tax purpose?
Okay. For tax, we will assume that it is done within that cessation period.
Okay, that's a very good response. Who else can I? Let me take one more person. Abiodun. No, sorry, Tolu. Abiodun, don't worry, Tolu. Sorry, Abiodun.
Sorry, I had a bit of network issues, but I think
Uh,
what comes to my mind is something I heard at work, final tax return or something, where the company files, I don't know, Sha, where the company needs to like file a tax return with the tax authorities for that period. I don't know if that relates.
okay,
Because it's be recognized as okay.
okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for your contribution. All right. So there is something that the law says, and I must tell you, you all made like very relevant points. And like I mentioned, what differentiates us as professionals, as professionals, is that everything that we do is basically backed by the law. Like what we don't do, so what we follow is actually the law. And in our case now, the law is what Finance Act, as we have it, right? So if there's any point at which we are confused about something, maybe we are dealing with something, the best thing to do is actually like go and check what does the law say about it. And that is even how to like consult, right? You are working for a particular client for their tax. What you should do is, what you're expected to do is to know what the law says and defend them from that angle. So, what does the law say about that? For post cessation receipts and payments, the law says that where a company that has permanently ceased to carry on a trade or business subsequently receives or pays any sum which would have been included or deducted from the profits of that trade or business if it had been received or paid before the date of the cessation. Such sum of money or such sum is treated as having been received or paid on the date of cessation. So if a company that is ceasing business receives any money or pays any money that they would have paid or received before the date of cessation, right? The law says that the assumption is that they received or paid that sum of money on, don't forget, on the date they ceased business. So for instance, they ceased business in 30 December, 30 June. Then a client that's okay, a customer that's bought goods from them since March now paid in July. What the law is saying is that we assume that that receipt is gotten on the date they ceased business, which is 30 June. Is it clear? Is it clear, please? So this second illustration, right, will serve for the purpose of emphasizing, the cessation rule, and also like emphasize how we treat, post cessation payments and receipts. So can we go through it together? Are we ready to go through it together? All right, I believe that is a yes. So for this, I'm going to copy this and put it so we can all So I'm going to also hide these ones. So the question did not stop here. It says, continues and says that we have a profit. Okay. The financial returns of the company prior to the date of cessation, prior to this date are as follows. So first we have for 30 for 30/1/12/19, we have how much? 9 million naira. We have 9 million naira, right? For the second year, we have for 2020, we have 700,000 naira. We have 700,000 naira. For the third year, 2021, we have 540,000. And okay, so this one is the same thing, but this is 2020. While this one is 2021, right? 2021. So then they now say that they now have period, all of these ones are year end. They now have period to, when you see period to, it means that it is either it is an abnormal basis. Year end means it is 12 months. Period to means it is either it's most likely more than 12 months or less than 12 months, right? It means it's an abnormal basis when it's period to. So they say that one is what? 360,000. Please, are we all still following? We're almost done. This is the last question now. Then now say that additional, they not give us additional information. Additional information, I'm going to, like, please pardon me. Don't worry, next time I'll be taking note of these things already. Okay. Okay, so the additional information now said on 1st of November 2022, the liquidator received 20,000 naira written off as bad debts at the end of 2019 accounting year. Also, the liquidator paid the rent due 40,000 naira at the end of 2020 accounting year on the same dates. Required compute the accessible profits for all available year of assessment. Right. So when did they cease business? They went into liquidation, or they ceased business on when? 30 September 2022. Right. Then we now have additional information that after this period they ceased, they still received 20,000 naira. An amount that they thought that is already bad debt and they are written off. Then it's now changed, turned back and said that not bad debt though, and they received it. They received it. Then also the liquidator that was working for them also paid the rent of 40,000 naira that they would have paid before the ceased. You can see that this period is, both periods are before period of cessation. So they now said that we should compute the accessible profit for all the relevant years of assessment. So let's do that now. Solution. Computation of computation of accessible profit for relevant year of assessment. What do we have first? We have year of assessment, right? We have basis period, and we have, please, are we following, please? Please, are we following? Please, are we
Yes.
following? Okay. Then
Yes,
here
sir.
we now have accessible profits. Accessible profits. Right? Here we now have accessible profits. So for our first year, for our first relevant years of assessment, what do we do? They gave us from profit from 2019. So if they give us profit from 2019, it means that they want us to work from that period. It means that all of those periods are actually relevant, right? Because they give us the profit for those periods. So they are relevant. And since these are the year end, it means that the accounting period the basis period rather would have been from when? Someone should give me the first one, please. 1st of January, what year? Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
2019.
Was 2019, first
I
of
want,
Jan.
I want to be sure that you're following me. To when? 31st.
31st to December 2019.
What is accessible profit for you this one?
9 million.
9 million. You're not prorating anything, it's year end.
Mm.
Question is year end. What will be now? What will be the year of assessments?
2020.
2020.
The next one will be 2021, right? And that will be 1/1/2020 to
2020.
31
31st.
2020. And what will be the accessible profits?
7 million.
Corporation. And for this one, also 2022, it will be from what year? 1/1.
2021
Oh, thank
to
you.
31st of 2021.
What will be the accessible profits? 540.
540.
Then for this period too, right? It is to it means they show this period two is to when they actually what ceased business, because the question tells us that they ceased business when. Let's go back to the question. They ceased business when they went to liquidation on when 30 September 2020.
September. Mm.
So that is the reason why this I didn't even write it here. I should write it there. 39 2020. Right? So period to 39 So according to the law, what would now be we have to determine the base period before we can write another thing. Base period, what's the base period now going to be?
1st January
1
1
2022, right?
22.
So when?
So
That's it.
30 September
September 2022.
22.
And so then what will be our advertisement? The due date is meant to be when?
2022. It should be 2022.
No,
The due, let's calm down. The due date is 6 months
it's
after
6 months.
6 months, right?
2023.
So 6 months after September is when?
2023, which is
23. Oh, okay. Okay.
Is it
March.
clear now?
March.
Is it clear now?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
it is March, so it is the following year, right? So now it will now be 2023. That was why I said that if the cessation was between January and June, then 6 months after will be in the same year. But anytime from July to December, it will be the following year. So the due date will definitely be the following year after that time. Am I communicating? So September is after June, right? So definitely 6 months after will be, since a year has 12 months, the first 6 months and the second 6 months. If it falls within the first 6 months, then the next 6 months will be in the same year. But if it falls in the second 6 months, then the next 6 months will be in the following year. That is the simple rule. All right. Now for this one, we cannot just say that the accessible profit is 360 because we have additional information. And the reason why that additional information is affecting this period is because the law says that if there's any receipts or payments after the period of cessation, we will assume or we'll take it as though it was received on that last day the company was ceasing business. You know what some people would have done, because this question would have confused some people that do not have like good understanding of it. They would have said that since it was in 2022, 1st of November 2022 that they received this one, and then it was a receipt for 2019. Then let them go and adjust it in 2019. Then they will probably come and they'll come and add it to 2019 profits, right? And then this one they say since it is rent due, although they paid it at the end of 2020, but it's for the same date, so it's for 2020. So they'll go and okay, it's for 2020, but they paid it in this thing. So they'll go and add it to they'll go and remove from the profit of 2020. No, that is wrong. Any payment or receipts after the due date will be seen as received on the due date. Oh, I said due date, on this date of cessation rather, please pardon me. will be seen as received and paid on the date of cessation. Is it clear? So it means that we have to adjust our terminal profits. So we'll not say workings, right? So we'll say profits, um, profit before adjustments. Let's say profits before adjustments. Right? That's how much. 360, Abby. Please, are you following? 360, right?
Yes.
Is it, am I right? Am I communicating? The normal profit for that period of cessation is 360. But we have to adjust it because they are receipt and they are payments after the date of cessation. Am I communicating?
Yes.
Okay. So they will now have adjustments. We have the first one is what? Bad debts received. Bad debt received. Received is how much?
It's
How
20.
much is it?
20.
20,000. Are we adding or subtracting from it?
Receive.
It's received now, so we are adding. It's an income, another income. So the second one is a liquidator. They paid rent. The rent was due, so they paid the rent. 40,000 naira. How much? 4,000 naira, right? So are we
Deducting.
we are deducting. So minus what? 40,000 naira.
40,000.
Am I communicating? So at the end of the day, we now have what?
Now have
Let me just
40.
sorry, pardon me, please. So now I have what? This
340.
plus this plus this. That will not be what? 340,000. So terminal profit will not be how much?
Yeah.
Not be 340,000, right? So 340,000. So we'll now come and put that 340,000. Yeah, so that would now be our accessible profit for the period. Is there any question? Is there any question, please? There's already a group page, right? So I don't know this thing, but I have an assignment for you guys. I don't know how to send it, but I'm going to like paste it on the group page, but I'm not on the group page yet. Probably going to paste it on the group page, or I would let my lead lecturer know about or the administrator know about it, or now I'm going to like communicate it to you guys. So what is expected is for you guys to like answer the question before next week. Then we'll have a revision together next week. Is that fine?
Yes.
It's fine, right? Okay. So I'm going to send the question to them. Then we'll just the first thing we're going to do together next week is that we're going to answer the question together next week. Then we'll start our next class. So you can also revise for the next class. Our next class is going to be on change in accounting dates. How do we deal with change in accounting dates? So you can do well to revise that against next week. All right. So preparation for exam has started, oh, my dear brothers and sisters. That started. Don't wait for anybody before you start preparing for your exam. All right. Start now. Start now. If you want to win prize, this is the time to. This is the time to begin. I want to encourage you to prepare to win prize. Please and please prepare to win prize. If you do your due diligence from now, you definitely gonna win prize. If you do your due diligence, you can aim for 97, for 96. If you want to win prize, then you should be aiming to around for a mark around that. And for that to happen, it means that you have dotted all your I's and crossed all your T's. All right. And if you want to do that, it is from now you will begin. It's from now you will begin. Am I communicating? So we have 3 minutes to the end of our class. So okay,
Sir,
we have one person. Okay, is there any question? So sorry, I should have left this for that.
sir,
Okay.
please. First question is that are we going to have like the topics to read for the next class, like the notes for the next class?
And no, I just like And maybe subsequently I can be providing, maybe I can give you like maybe a summary for the next class, but I just want you to like go and read on your own, like maybe I've revised like something around this change in accounting data, all right? Revise what you have done today, then revise this, okay? All right. Is it
And
clear?
yeah, and can you also try and give us a summary of that last illustration again? Just summarize it.
For this last illustration, Abi, the solution, right?
Yeah, the solution, the summary of it again.
Okay. So I said all of this from 2019 to 2021 is the same thing we have been doing all along. The only difference with it is for
The period.
this, yeah, the period that is. So what the law said is that if a company that is ceasing business permanently receives or pays any amount that they should have paid before the date of cessation, right? If they receive any or if they receive any money or pay any money after the date of cessation that they would have paid before they ceased business, then that money, that payment or receipt will be seen as though it was received on the date that they ceased business. So if they have ceased business in January, in February 28th, for instance, now, and then they received or paid any money, for instance, in May, or for instance in March, that money would have been seen to have been received or paid in February of that year, the dates that they ceased business. And that is the
Okay.
reason why we have to come and adjust, because in this question now, they gave us additional information that the company actually received some money, received 20,000 after the period, that was due during the period, that was meant to be received during the period, but pardon me, and they made an expense that was due during the period. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So we now have to come and adjust. So this is the normal reported profits. But because of what the law says, we now have to adjust this reported profit for the amount that was received and paid after the period ended, after the period that they ceased rather. And that's the reason why we add these workings for the bad debt that they received and the rent due that they paid. And then we add 340. And that's what we have put here.
Okay.
Is it clear?
So the
Basis
basic
period
period is normal.
Basis period is not normal. Basis period is from the dates is from the beginning of the period to the end of the date of cessation. So the beginning of the period normally like is in preceding year basis a day after the end of the previous accounting period, which is 1st of January 2022, and the ceased operation in 30 September 2022. So it will be now be from 1st of January 2022 to 30th December 2022. Is that clear, please? Is it clear, please? Nobody's responding. No.
It's clear, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay. One of the things that we pride for is, I mean, we had like someone that really made us proud last night. The person was the best female in the entire professionals, and I mean, see the joy that we had having the news. I hope we can have more from. Like, I hope we can have someone from at least a few people from from skills as well that will make us proud. I mean, like that too. And the way to go about it is to start preparing from now, right? Start preparing from now. It is possible. It is possible to have 97, to have 98,
Okay.
right? While I was a student, my own class rep in network had, I think, had 96 or thereabout in tax, and I think thereabout in tax,
In tax.
right? So,
Okay.
yeah.
So
So
probably
please,
we will all have 99.
Exactly.
amen. So
Amen.
it's from now that you start, what I'm trying to say is that the mark is from now that you will start preparing towards it. All right, from now that you start preparing towards it. So we're already behind schedule, but I can see like Lovett is here.
Hmm.
Then who else is here? I mean, we have 8 people. So Lovett, can you please introduce yourself? And who else did not introduce him or herself at the beginning? Lovett, please. What is okay? We know your name. I believe that is your name, anyways. But what is your name? Okay, tell us your name. Then what do you do?
Okay, good evening, everyone. So my
Good
name is
evening.
Lovett, obviously, and I'm a banker.
Oh, you're a banker. What bank? Is it the bank that we used to Yab, or you are for the good banks? What bank,
One of the
please?
banks. One of the banks.
That we used to Yab.
I
Do
don't
you have
know.
an account with them? Do you have an account with them, or you don't keep your money with them?
Of course I do.
Okay, I'm just joking, anyways. All right, love it. It's nice
Thank
having you in
you.
this class.
Thank
So I
you.
know Lovett now. I know Abiodun, which is Nas on this group. I know Aramide. I know Chidima. I know Muibat. So I won't forget you guys' name. So I would just share my video for like a minute or 30 seconds so I can see my put a face to my voice. And so if you see me outside, you'll be able to recognize me. All right. So let me just do that. I hope my camera is as clear. Can you see my face, please?
You can't see your face. Oh.
You can't.
There's dark. You're holding torchlights.
I'm, I'm not holding
Oh,
torchlights.
there's a just one reflection of light at the back.
Oh, there's a reflection of light at the back. Oh, okay. Maybe next time, shall we probably use my phone to connect so it can be clearer. So that is me. My name is Iben Adeleye, and this is what we do. So thank you for choosing Network, guys. See more of you. So until next week again, before we meet, thank you so much. Please, I'm going to like look for a way to communicate the assignment to you guys. And
Okay, please, would you share the lecture notes? And what about the recording? Because
the administrator will get back to you on that. They'll get
okay.
back to you. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Take care, please.
Thank you.